So they come to Richmond when you guys have the show.
When we have the pretty set, but honestly,
Gotcha.
I was not paying them for that no more.
No,
So we just come here.
I don't think it's as important though. Like I don't think people are paying attention to that.
Yeah.
I don't think people are like, oh my God, look at the background.
Okay, all right, cut it out.
Welcome back to another episode of the Planner Suite, where we have a special guest today.
Yes, we do. So we have C'est Belle Events with us today, and I'm really, really excited about this because we have kind of history deep. We're both ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, but we're the same chapter. We're initiated with Alpha Epsilon at Virginia State University. So
the Virginia State University.
Yes. So super excited to have her here with us today. So we're just going to kick it. We're going to talk about all of the things. So just tell us a little bit about yourself and your business and all the things.
Of course. I started C'est Belle going on 10 years ago, over 10 years ago. I started by planning my own wedding, and it was way before we had all the hashtags and, I was just digging through the regular internet, y'all.
Probably on Pinterest.
Yes, right. Right. I had a Pinterest board and Google. That's really all I had. And it still turned out really beautiful. And all of my friends are like, oh my gosh, I've never been to a wedding like this. And when it was over, I looked at my husband like, what do I do now? I was spending all my time doing this. What do I do now? And he was like, why don't you start event planning? And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know about that.
It's always the husbands.
You want me to work? I thought we were thinking, that was not in my plans. But no, honestly, he was such a great motivator because he was someone that just saw that potential in me. And my background is in logistics. So I'm very organized. I'm very, concise when it comes to details and planning. So he kind of felt like, all right, you'd be really good at this. So I'm like, all right, cool. Y'all, when I tell y'all to the extreme, he was sending me pictures of myself. Like, I liked when your hair was like that. You should do it
right.
for your headshots, your hair. I'm like, sir, what are you?
Supportive husband.
Right.
No,
Meanwhile, I'm
seriously.
like, sir, what are you talking? Like, I hadn't really kind of committed to it yet. Mm-hmm. He's like, we came up with a name. He's on Upwork coming up with logos for me. I'm like, what are you doing? You're really serious.
That's what it takes, though. It takes someone seeing it before you to give you that push.
Right.
Y'all, he did my website, my first website.
Great.
I mean, this man motivated me beyond anything I could say. So if I have to give someone the credit as to where C'est Belle started, it's definitely my husband. But the other person that really pushed me was my aunt. My aunt was the family party planner. So I learned so many little details from her that I know people take for granted, but I know for me it was like, okay, before an event, check everything and make sure all the tags are off. Make sure do an inventory, make a list of what's in this box and what's in that box. And I learned those little things from my aunt before I even started my business. So she was someone that she took on party planning seriously just for the family, but it also motivated me to be very organized in what I do.
I love that. And then just what you said about husbands, no, husbands matter. It's a big thing. All of the event planners, there's this viral little TikTok going around about the husband that's working for free all the time.
That's him.
With the event planner. It is real. So I love that.
Yeah. And especially when you first start, you need support you don't have the resources to go hire somebody yet. Yeah. Right. And you don't even know what you're hiring for. So my husband was just everybody. He was unpacking the car, packing the car. He was helping me organize things. And you really can't do it without that support system. Mm-hmm. And you can't run a business without a spouse that's supportive and understands there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be days where I'm just beyond emotional about the business. I want to quit. He hears it all. He hears the good. He hears the bad. He hears the ugly. But he is beyond supportive, and you just need that. You really need that with not just your husband, of course, but with your family, your friends that support you in your process of running a business. Because not just event planning, any business you decide to run just takes over your life, and people have to understand that, right? I don't have time like I used to have. I miss my corporate job sometimes.
Being a real person.
I miss being a real person because you feel like the world is on your shoulders when it comes to your entrepreneurship or your business. if I don't succeed, like the business doesn't succeed.
It's
if I don't
brand,
work,
right?
yeah, it's your brand. If I don't work, nothing happens. Like if I have a bad week at my corporate job, I'm still gonna get a paycheck at the end of the day. If I have if I have a bad week at C'est Belle, I don't make money or I don't get a new client or whatever growth that I'm looking for, it doesn't happen. So yeah.
So I know you mentioned you miss your corporate job, so we know that you are a full-time entrepreneur now, and we want to hear a little bit about that journey and just, you know, how you made that transition, because it's a lot of entrepreneurs out here who are nervous to take that leap, who just, you know, dibble and dabble in a little bit, and they're like, no, let me go back to this 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So we want to hear a little bit about that.
You know, I'm very much an advocate for waiting until you're ready. I don't tell anyone to quit their 9 to 5 immediately and start any business because, again, it takes over your life and there's capital involved in starting the business. Like, you need money to build a website. You need money to get business cards. You need money to whatever it is that you want to do. You need money, and your 9 to 5 is going to probably fund that at the very beginning. Yeah. So rushing to leave your 9 to 5, I don't suggest that. But my story is actually a little bit different and unique. So I was working. My journey's all over the place, y'all. So just
love those stories.
Just hold on, okay? Y'all must be like, girl, what, how, and how'd you get here? I started working for the Department of the Army, doing logistics. I did that for about 5 years, and I deployed. I went to Afghanistan, did all these things that people are like, wait, what? You were in Afghanistan? It's like, yes,
that's a lot.
That's a part of my old life, like not important. And when I got back, we had moved crazy. My husband found a job in Northern Virginia. We were living in Aberdeen, Maryland, just very random. And he's like, should I move? I'm in Afghanistan. He's like, should I move to Northern Virginia without you? And I'm like, yeah, pack our stuff and go to Northern Virginia.
That's like, I'm in Afghanistan. Like, yeah,
do whatever you want.
I have a home when I get back.
I don't care. Do whatever you want. When I tell you, I didn't even see the apartment. He didn't want to show me the apartment. He was like, you'll just be surprised when you get here. Like, packed all of our stuff, unpacked all of our stuff. I come in, we have this new place. We're living in Alexandria in an apartment. And I don't know, a year into that, I'm like, I don't know if I want to work for the Army anymore. I don't like the government and I don't want to work here anymore. And my husband's like, okay, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to do like sales. Like I want to do something fun and exciting. And I decided I wanted to do pharmaceutical sales.
Oh, okay.
Which is, y'all, a very nice and cushy job. I don't know if you know anything about pharmaceutical sales, but it is a spoiled type of corporate job. I got a corporate car. I had a phone. Everything was technically paid for, like within my life. Great salary, bonuses. You know, if you make your sales, you get bonuses. And for me, not to say it wasn't difficult, but I had an upper hand that people didn't look at, right? One, I was one of the few Black girls in that field. And then you never think like, I was connecting with like the staff in the office. So I'm able to get in ways that other people couldn't. I remember my manager wrote at me one day, and I get to the front desk and I just start chit-chatting with the girl. And we're like talking about Real Housewives and my hair and my braids and this, and we're just chit-chatting. She's like, I've just never seen anyone connect with them like that. And I'm like, yeah, because like I'm Black and she's Black and like
that's
she's
magic.
young.
That's that Black girl magic.
I'm like, she's Black, I'm Black. Like, what do you think?
Right.
And I do that, and COVID comes. I get laid off. And I'm like, all right, what do I do? I'm going to go look for another job. I'm going to find another one. It's easy. I'll get another one. And in my heart, I felt like, Mahalia, this is probably really the right time for you to like take the business to the next level. Yes, it's COVID, but this would be the right time.
Right.
I didn't follow my gut, which I'm very strong on my gut, but I was like, no, it's okay. Y'all, I take a job in April. By October, I get fired. And I get fired, but I was supposed to get fired.
Yeah,
I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do at work because I was so focused on C'est Belle. Like that was my main, that was my baby. Right. I was like, oh, what? Make calls? Yeah, I'll do that. But I got to take this, more important call for my business.
I feel like you're talking to me right now because I still work full time. You guys, I always say that I'm very transparent. Hopefully my boss is not watching these podcasts, didn't see me on CBS, but like, no, really? Like, I do not be doing what I need to do.
Yeah, and when you're dropping the ball like that, when your heart is not in it anymore, it's very clear, and you're not going to perform the way you're supposed to perform, and I wasn't. So that's why I wasn't mad when I tell y'all, I got off the phone. Relief. Right, I got off the phone, they were like, yeah, so we're going to let you go. I was like, all right, cool, no problem. Talk to y'all soon. Like, I didn't even think about it. And I was away at a wedding, so I had taken that Friday off, and my boss called like, oh, can we talk early in the morning? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. When he told me that, I went to that wedding, had the best time. I didn't think about it. I wasn't sad. I felt so good about it. I felt relieved, and I felt like, you know what? This was a sign from God to say, Mahalia, like, I tried to give you the opportunity to make the decision on your own. I got you laid off. You had a nice little package. You did all the good things. You didn't take that sign. I'm gonna give you a stronger sign. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a stronger sign. I'm gonna get you fired, and let's see if you take that sign seriously. And that's when I started C'est Belle full time, and that was in 2021. But I had already been running the business at that point for 6 years. While I had a full-time job. It just teaches you an invaluable lesson about just commitment, sticking to it. Yes, I had a great job, but I knew what my passion was and what I enjoyed doing.
And believing in yourself.
Yeah,
and just
100%.
Going all in and listening to God, because we like to do our own thing. God be like, nope.
No, right. He's like, no, you're gonna get fired, and you're gonna like it, and it's like, just deal with it. So that's kind of the journey of what got me to full-time entrepreneurship. I'll be very clear, it's not easy, especially now being a mom. I'm like, I took maternity leave. Nobody paid me for maternity leave. Like, those are the things that I missed about corporate. I was like, dang. My job was giving like 4 months of maternity. I would have been paid for 4 months. Like, that's what my mind went to. But even just that level of flexibility to be with my child, to be able to just not take a meeting for days and go be at his school for Halloween this and for his birthday, and that the flexibility that it gives my life is invaluable. You know, I talk about it all the time with my followers, my subs. They know I'm always getting sick. I probably sound stuffy now. But the ability to say, hey, my husband has to work. He doesn't have to take off. I'm just going to like move my schedule around a little bit and make it work. I can't, you're not going to get that in a corporate job. So even when I play around with the idea with my husband, he's like, Mahalia, you're not going to go work a full, like, stop. Like, you're saying it, but you're not going to do it. And I'm like, I know, just sometimes I miss the perks. For sure.
So we know that you are not just an event planner. Like, you are in a league of your own. Y'all, if you do not follow her, because like I have not seen events like yours before in my life.
Thank you.
So we just want to know, like, where do you get that inspiration from? Like, where do these ideas come from? Because you're pulling things out of the box. Like, every time I'm just like, wow. Like,
I'd be like, wow too. Like,
like, where's this? You know, I think that inspiration can come from anywhere. And I think most people tend to use Instagram or Pinterest or looking at other colleagues' work and trying to be inspired by that. And that is kind of the last place that I go when I'm looking for inspiration. My inspiration comes in everyday things.
Right.
I can go on vacation, and the whole time I'm inspired on vacation. I'm like, look at the fixture in the hotel. Look at what they did in my room. Look how they, and my husband and I, we love luxury travel. That's kind of what we do. We've been to Greece, we've been to the Maldives, and every time we go to these places, we're staying at the nicest hotels that we can. But what that gives us is a level of experience that I don't always get, right? So I walk into a hotel, I'm like, oh my God, it smells so good. Oh my God, they gave me this welcome drink. It tastes amazing. Like, all these things stick in your head, and then I apply them to my events.
Right.
I'm like, I want people to walk in and be like, it smells so good.
I was going to say, and you're not joking, because one of your previous events, you sprayed, so
and when I tell you, I watched
custom scent, y'all.
I loved watching people. So we sprayed a handkerchief that came in a gift box. And when the guest opened the gift box, I watched as people were like, oh my God, it smells so good. And it was exactly what I wanted. That's an experience. And people don't forget those types of things, right? They'll forget the handkerchief. They'll forget, the dances. They'll forget these things. But when they like smell something that sticks with them, they're like, oh my God, no, that smelled so good. Or oh my God, that drink that they gave us when we first walked in, or that person who welcomed us when we first walked into the space. Those are the things that are memorable to people. And that's where I kind of grab my inspiration. I'm using inspiration from outside of my colleagues. Like, I love interior design. I'm not good at it, but I love seeing how they mix patterns and textures, you know, how they put fixtures in places, how they do things. And that's where I pull a lot of inspiration, is from just we love going out to eat. I love going to beautiful restaurants and seeing how they do things, how they even do their service, you know? And my husband and I, we love going to Michelin star restaurants. And if you've ever been to a Michelin star restaurant, just the experience from the minute you walk in the door, even something as simple as most Michelin star restaurants, you pay for your food in advance.
Right.
Just the experience of, at the end of the night, you eat your dessert, you chit chat with your husband, and then y'all get up and y'all leave and y'all don't have anything else to think about.
No bills.
No bill, no trying to calculate how much was the tip.
You don't have to wait for a waitress.
You don't have to wait for someone to bring it back. Just that simple thing makes a difference in how people feel about what their experience was like. So I think for me, it's not pulling inspiration from just where you're working from. So if you're a balloon artist, if you're a florist, not just looking at those places, but look beyond that. Look past those places and pull inspiration for yourself.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we know that you're tapping into your creativity, you're giving the full experience, and clients love that. But we also know every client does not love that, and it's not easy to work with. Have you ever had that instance where it's like you gave your all, and then the client was like, don't like it, not satisfied?
You know, thankfully, I have not been in that particular situation where anyone felt like I didn't love what was done. I think what I've dealt with more is people not quite understanding what these types of things take, you know? Something as simple as, like you said, spraying every handkerchief.
Right.
You need staff for that. Like, I can't, you know, it's impossible to think, oh, you have this over-the-top event. We're spraying every handkerchief. We have welcome drinks. We have this, we have that. And I only have 2 people working. Yeah. No, I have a team. Yeah, I have a team working, and I have to pay that team. So that's why the cost is what it is, because of the experience that we're bringing to you. So I think it's really trying to get into people's mind frame and help them understand this is what's going to be happening. This is what we have going on. You're having a multi-day setup. We're setting up for 3 days. I'm literally on my feet for the next 3 days.
72 hours.
Yeah, 72 hours, nonstop, 12 hours, 15 hours a day just to get this event up and running. You have to understand and respect what that means and what that's going to cost.
Right.
I think it's more trying to get people to understand that than it is people not being happy. I would say almost all of my clients are happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even when they do spend outside. Because listen, I've had brides and grooms, I mean, the week of, I feel like they barely want to talk to me because they're just like, girl, the final numbers are coming in, these final checks are coming in, and they're like, wait a minute, how much more I got to spend? And they're sick of me. But the day of the event, when they see how the day flows, when they see how everything comes together, when their family and friends are telling them, this has been the best experience I've ever had. I'll never forget tonight. This was so memorable. Kind of all of that melts away. Yeah. They still remember. They still remember that cost. But I think some of those reservations and how they were initially feeling, it melts away and they feel like, wow, that was worth it. Listen, just like any other luxury experience, right? It's going to cost.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, you're going to complain about the cost up front, of course, right? Yeah. And I think that's same for me. Like I said, we love to travel. Yes, I complain about the cost of that hotel. Like, dang, why does it, how much for that? Yeah, but I know like, it's going to be so good. Like, I know what I'm going to get. I know it's better than an Airbnb where I have to wake up and cook my own food and make the bed.
Go to the market in another
country. Do not invite me if we do an Airbnb. I'm not interested. I need someone to come fix the bed, bring my breakfast to the room. I want that experience. I want nice luxury robes. That's what I want. And I think that's the same thing with event planning. Right. Do you want that luxe experience? Do you want that experience where from beginning to end, you have nothing to think about? My client's biggest concern is, what am I going to wear? What am I wearing? What am I doing? What's my hair going to look like? What's my makeup? And I still end up helping with those kind of things anyway.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think it's hurt, right? I think I always tell everyone that it's about what you value, right? Just like I said, I love to go to a Michelin star restaurant. I will easily spend $700 to go out to eat. But you ask me to buy a $700 bag and I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack. Do you understand? Like, it's about what you value.
Yeah,
it's what I value.
You recorded that. That was good.
Yeah, no, it's really about what you value. Same, vacations. Me and my husband go, we stay at the Overwater Bungalow in Maldives, and we eat whatever we want and we drink whatever we want and we spend whatever we want. Ask me to go buy some luxury item and I'm in the store like, do I need this? I don't think I do. Like, I just can't bring myself to do it. So I think it's about what these people value.
Right.
Because there are people who don't value events, but I've seen them go and spend, buy a G-Wagon and do this and do that. And that's what's important to them. So, whereas I might have a client, she just drives a nice little Maxima, but she spent $200,000 on this party because what's important to her is this experience and bringing that to life. And that's okay. I don't judge, and it's not in a judgment way, right? You want your G-Wagon, have your G-Wagon. I'm going to drive my nice like little Jeep Wrangler and be happy with that. But I'm also going to go take that luxury trip and go out to eat at that luxury restaurant because that's what I like to do. That's my like experience.
That's
that's my vice.
Has their thing.
Yeah. And I think it's the same with events, right? What do you value? I've seen people that I was surprised. Like, I thought they would have wanted to put a little bit more. And I'm the same person, y'all. We talked about this. Saint's birthday. My son's first birthday.
We want to see it, girl.
Everyone wanted to see the big party, but I'm like, he's one.
Like, I want a cookout.
Right, exactly. He's one. And we didn't even do we went to Turks and Caicos. Like, right. And we stayed.
That was cute. Yeah. Like, the video you guys put up was adorable.
And we had the best time. And I think for me and my husband, the experience of seeing our son go into the water for the first time, international trip, taking him, that experience meant so much more to me than throwing a party for all of my friends and family. I went to so many first birthday parties this year, and them kids was miserable. They did not smile.
They wanted a nap.
They wanted naps. They didn't want nobody touching them. They were hot, whatever the issue was. And I just couldn't imagine me forcing an event like that. For what reason? Like, I didn't understand why I would do it. Even this year, we're up in the air on what we want to do. I'm like, my son loves Elmo. I'm taking him to Sesame Place. Like, why am I throwing this big party, which realistically is for everybody else? I'm over here coming up with ideas like, we're gonna have an ice cream truck. And we're gonna, for who? Not for him. Because he doesn't care.
I think it's different when you're in the industry and you're like a planner. Because like me and my husband always talk about our wedding, and then we're like, okay, we'll never do that again. Like, it's so crazy because people have this expectation. Like, people are waiting to see, right? But then we talk about baby showers and we're like, all right, we're just going to skip that. And then we're going to do like a sip and see or something because it's just like the expectation, the pressure.
I don't let anyone pressure me into any of that. Yeah. You cannot pressure, I'm sorry, but you cannot pressure me. You can't pressure me to throw a party unless you're giving me the money.
She said there's no more free parties here at St. Belle for her. Parties. Period.
No, and you know, being that this is my job. This is my job. This is what I do every day. It's the excitement isn't always the same when you're doing it for yourself. Like, I'm trying to enjoy the party because it's my son's party, but I'm working. I'm trying to set up. I'm trying to make sure things are the way they're supposed to be. That's not as fun. Again, this year, like I said, I would have done something. I wish we moved from a big house in Woodbridge to a smaller home in DC because we wanted to live in the city. So we don't have like the backyard and all this. So I'm like, I have to rent a house, do this, do that. I'm like, we're going to move one day. We're going to have a nice big house and I can set up a party for 3 days and take my time and enjoy it and all that and not feel rushed. So no, I don't allow that pressure. You can't, because these are also the same people who aren't spending no money on parties either.
That's true.
Y'all telling me to throw,
so they
can just be like, oh my God,
like, hey, I got $2,000.
Right. Those be the same people. So no, I don't allow the industry, other people to put that pressure to say like you're supposed to do it because you're an event planner. Right. No, what I value is time with my family, travel, and what that looks like for me in any given moment can be a party. We had a big, baby shower. We had a huge baby shower. That was because I hadn't had an event for 10 years. I had a wedding, and then it was our 10-year anniversary, and it was us having our first child. So we said, all right, that's a good opportunity to throw something really big, bring all of our family back in, and have a good time. But not every time. It can't be every time. No, it can't. It cannot. Yeah.
Okay. Totally agree. So something we want to talk about, we know that you have big events. We know
Yes.
that your creativity shines through. We know that in this industry, it is very easy for people to replicate. And I use that word loosely.
All right, y'all. You guys don't want to finish this podcast, is what you know.
Because sometimes it's just a straight up copy, like straight up, not even replicate, straight up copy. And we've seen that happen to you over and over and over again here in the DMV area, Maryland, even down to Richmond.
Yeah.
Or Connecticut. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Connecticut was real.
Was that Massachusetts or something?
It was one of those like
Up
little
there.
New England
places.
I mean,
yes.
they literally, it was a copy and paste.
It was a copy and paste.
Yeah.
It was a copy and paste. Yes.
How do you handle that? What do you do? First of all, how does that make you feel? Because you said that with your inspiration, you don't look on other planners' pages. You pull it straight from inside here.
Yeah.
But these people are looking at your page and like Amy said, copy and pasting it. What do you do? How do you handle that? What do you feel on the inside? Because I know I would feel rage.
Some people feel flattered, right? But I think Mahalia was ready to swing.
I would feel rage.
No. It's the Drake quote. Imitation is not flattery. It's annoying me. I don't. It does nothing for me. Mm-hmm. I will jump in on one thing you said before I tell you about my emotions and how I feel. I think in the world of creatives, you beg, steal, and borrow all the time, right? And there's a way to take it and kind of make it your own and create. I don't think anything is brand spanking new. There's no such thing. Nothing is brand like, oh my God, this is a totally brand new concept. No, but you take it and you make it your own.
Right. I struggle with people using the word creative because sometimes they're not a creative. Sometimes they just see that and they're like, let me do this.
They're a stealer.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yes.
you're a thief.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
You're not a creative.
You're not letting it inspire you. And I think that's the
Yeah.
difference between just taking it and being inspired by something that you see. So
Right.
it's not that I don't look at my other colleagues' work and see what they do and want to do things similar, but I never want to take it and just do it. Like just replicate it because that takes 0 brain cells to do. I
and
can't
it's
sit
not
here.
Fun. We got into this work because it's fun and it lets us be creative and it lets us try different things. But if you're stealing someone's stuff, it's not fun anymore.
I don't think we know what inspiration really is. Like, and I only say that because, people are like, oh, I'm going to go look for inspiration. They send inspiration. They're sending people's work. It's not like you going to the Maldives and seeing something and then taking it and then remixing it into something for an event.
Right.
People are just like, all right, this is the inspiration. They're literally taking the same thing and say, no, I want this. And when us as the planners don't create that same inspiration, there's a problem. That's the thing. There's a trust issue in this industry, and people aren't trusting us to bring new experiences and inspiration to them. They just want to copy and paste.
Yeah.
And that's probably what happened. maybe in New England.
Yeah.
But then I wonder if we should also direct this to clients. Like, allow your planner to have creativity. Like, don't bring us someone else's work and expect us to do it exactly
Verbatim.
like that.
But we are not all the same, though. That's the issue. There's people who are coming into this. There's people that are coming into this industry, right?
Give it up.
That just need
Give it up.
clients, just need a check, and they're like, "Oh, I can do this and take this and put that out, right?" And then there's people who are real creatives, real designers, right? Who are really coming up with stuff that are spearheading this industry. So, I mean, there's a lot. We could keep talking about this all day, but
we can go on and on. My emotions around that, it's disheartening, it's discouraging, it's frustrating, it's hurtful because, again, like you said, I'm taking so much time, so much energy, I'm pouring so much into thinking of ideas, creating things, showing my husband, showing my friend, being like, what do you think about that? What if the logo was like this instead? Or what if we did that? And to think that you were just like, like it, taking it. Like, it's crazy to me, right? It blows my mind. And it's even more frustrating when someone says something, when I am not afraid. I'm hitting you up.
Yeah.
I'm not that planner. I'm not the bigger person. When they go low, I go lower. I'm not that person, right? So I'm going to hit you up and I'm going to say something to you about it. And let's be clear. It wasn't always the most tactful way. I didn't always do it in the most tactful way. I did have to have some of my...
You're from New York, though. So
I'm from New York.
Expected it to be.
So, it took some time for me to get tactful because initially it was like, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass when I see you.
I mean, you can only give what you can.
Right,
like,
what I have, right. But I'm so lucky that I do have supportive like people around me that say, hey, Mahalia, you're better than that. You're bigger than that. You don't have to stoop down to that level. And really my approach now is you should just have more respect for yourself and for the industry and for me and for your client than to do this. There's so many things out there. There's so many ideas out there. I'm glad that you felt, compelled by the event that I did.
Right.
But please don't do this. I work really hard for my business. I put so much effort into my business. It is unfair for you to just take it and make it your own. All I have is my intellectual property.
Yeah.
All I have is me posting this work on social media, other people seeing it, and God willing, the right person sees it and says, wow, she is really talented and I want to hire her to do this, and this. God forbid someone falls across your post and says, wow, that's really creative. She did such a good job. Meanwhile, you didn't come up with that idea at all. It would be so unfair for you to be, are you going to hit that person up and be like, oh, actually, I didn't do this.
Right.
I stole this whole idea from C'est Belle. You're not going to do that. You're going to take that opportunity. You're going to run with it. And now your business gets to grow. You get to make the money. You get, maybe, because
they may not be able to deliver.
You may not be able to deliver.
But the only thing is, we kind of make it, like in that case, we make it easy for them to be like, oh, I can do it because we tag our vendors and all they have to do is go back to your page, see
you
who
bringing
you
something
use,
else up.
and then just
I
reuse
even think
all
without
of
the
them.
vendors, because the events that we're talking about are not even in the same market. So they weren't using the same vendors. I think just the visual, that particular event that you're talking about, when I tell you literally, it was like, if it was red, blue, orange, it was in the same order. Red, blue, orange. It wasn't like they tried to like, oh, let me put the backdrop a little different. It was like, no, if she put the backdrop here, if the chairs were turned to the corner, we turned them exactly to the corner like she did. It was a mirror image of the event.
It was.
A mirror image of the event. And this is actually one of the stories I never really told except for to my subs. The person whose event it was, husband called me.
Oh, for what?
Oh, this is the tea for real.
This is the tea
This
that you
is the
need.
tea.
But for what?
Girl.
He was sticking up for his wife.
He was sticking up for his wife. And you know what? I don't even think it was just sticking up for his wife. He was Caribbean. Okay. I won't say what he was, but
Jamaican. He had to be a Jamaican.
He wasn't.
Oh, he was Haitian.
Anyway, so and I'm Haitian, so it's not it's a pride thing, right? All your family, all your friends come to this event, like, oh my God, it's beautiful. This is so unique. It's so nice. And then somebody goes on social media and blasts the event and says, you stole this whole event from me.
And then all the Caribbeans
And now everyone's like, oh my gosh. So now your pride is hurt. It had nothing to do with you really. So now I'm getting a call, y'all. Swear to God, I'm sitting in the car with my husband. We just finished having dinner and I get a random call on my phone. I'm like, I don't know who this is. Mahalia speaking. Yeah, this is so-and-so, my wife and this. You need to take these videos and pictures of my wife down. First of all, I'm not posting pictures and videos of your wife. That's not, you know what I mean? Like, I'm posting of the event.
Right.
But I respect and understand that your wife is in these pictures because you stole my entire idea.
Right.
So, of course, the way the pictures were set up is how your wife was in them. So I get it. No problem. I'll take it down. But just the way he was speaking to me that day, he wanted to make me feel like fearful, right? He's like, you see how easy it was for me to get your number? Yeah, Google. What? I own a business. What are you saying? Like, you're not scared. No. And again, I'm from New York. You can never scare me.
Like, I can find you.
Yes, you can come through then, bro. Like, come through, my man.
Off an event that you...
Off an event that... And he was like, no idea is new. I'm like, sir, the entire event is stolen. Let's just be very clear about it. If that's what it is, and it is what it is. He's like, yeah, I own businesses too. Then you should have a level of respect to understand why I'm angry and upset.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the wife learned her lesson. She probably is never copying an event after that.
Not just the wife learned the lesson, and that planner learned her lesson. I don't care how bad you want me to replicate something. I should have the integrity to say, I'm not doing it.
I learned a lesson, and it wasn't even me. I ain't copying nobody events.
It's not a fun feeling on either end, to be honest with you. That was one of the situations that I don't think I was as tactful as I could have been. Because it was one of the first times it happened. Yeah, it was one of the first times it happened to me. And I was just so like, and I was really excited about the event. It was, I don't want to say what kind of event it was, but there were so many details that were so unique because it wasn't a regular baby shower. And to just see it all just taken, I was like, yeah, this is not okay for me.
So I know that you do several different types of events, but how do you handle the pressure of perfection at this level?
My belief on perfection is that it's perception. So what you think is perfect may not be what I think is perfect. So my standard for my events is Mahalia's standard. What do I think looks good? What do I think is nice? What is my standard of nice? Because, baby, I've seen some events that I see the comments and people are like, oh my God, you killed it. And I'm like, yes, you murdered it. It looks terrible. Like, what is this? So I think that perception is different, right? What you think is going to be perfect and what someone else thinks is going to be perfect is different. And when it comes to your clients, is trying to get on the same page. What do you feel like is important for your event? So even when I'm asking questions to my clients about what they want for their event, it's not just how does it look? I want to know a little bit of everything. What do you want your guests to walk away with when the event is over? What do you want to walk away with when the event is over? Like, do you want to say, yo, the food was amazing, the DJ killed it? Or do you want to say, the gifts were so good? Or what is it that you want? And I have those conversations specifically with my clients because I want them to tell me, what do you want? You don't just want a pretty event.
Yeah.
That's what people think that people are coming for. Yes, a pretty event comes with that experience, but what is it that you actually want to accomplish? So when I did that Sweet 16 earlier this year, me and Mom had, y'all, one of the longest consultations I ever had. I took like 4 pages of notes. That's how much like she told me. But the main thing that I walked away with from that day was, I want my daughter to know how special and loved she is. I want her to feel that.
And she said that, didn't she?
And she said that in her speech when, the daughter made a speech and was like, I just feel so loved today. And that touched me because that was the whole goal for the mom.
That's dope.
The whole goal for the mom was not, oh, it has to be over the top. It has to be dramatic. It was, I want my daughter to walk away that day and feel like she is so loved and she is so special. And that was what she wanted. So that, for that client, that was perfection. So even if we didn't have every piece of decor that was in that room, her daughter walked away with what she wanted that day.
And that takes alignment with your client. That takes conversation, knowing them, having those conversations be beyond the consultation.
Yes.
Like it's a constant conversation.
Yeah, the consultation, I think, is just that beginning piece where it's like, what is it that you're here for? Are we aligned?
Right.
Because we were talking about earlier, do we mesh well?
Right.
Do we vibe? I want to make sure. One of the things that I end every consultation with my client, with potential clients, is I want you to interview other people. I want you to talk to other planners because I may not be the right planner for you.
That's good.
You need to talk to other people. You might vibe with somebody better than you vibe with me. Don't just look at my social media and my pictures and think that's what I want, because maybe me and you aren't going to connect on a emotional level, on how we talk and communicate with one another. I'm a fast talker. So it's not that I'm cutting you off, it's that my thoughts are moving very fast.
Right. I need you to keep up.
And I've had clients who felt like I didn't get to get my thought out, but I'm also like, because you're getting your thought out too slow for me. Like, I don't, it's not an offensive.
I need to get my thought out.
My thought is working really fast.
You have to understand that creativity goes like that.
Like this,
right. Tell you the story.
Right. So, and me and that client ended up not working out because we just couldn't communicate on the same level. It's not an offensive thing. It's just, I'm not the right person for you, and that's okay.
I think that's huge. I mean, I have to say that I do end with that too, but I think also knowing as a planner that you don't need to take everyone, and knowing who you mesh well with is huge.
Yeah.
Like Whitney is always able to say, hey, Amy, that might not be the client for me, but like really that is huge, because if they don't trust you, then the whole entire the mood and everything changes from the beginning. Like trust is a huge factor in this industry, and it's something that needs to be talked about more, because if they don't trust you, the magic don't work, baby.
Yeah. They make it hard for you. They make your job hard because they question everything you're going to do. Yeah.
And as you didn't cut me off at all. I think it's just, as an entrepreneur, I don't want to make my job any harder. Like, why would I take on a client that I know is about to be like, this is not going to be a good experience for me or you.
Right.
And the last client that it didn't work out with between us, that was my approach to her. Like, I don't think this is going to be a good experience for you or for I. Like, it's not that neither one of us are going to like this. Yeah. It's not just me that's not going to like it. I don't think you're going to like how I work. I don't think I like how you communicate. We should part ways. Right. And that's what happened. We parted ways, and it was no hard feelings. I most of the time I don't have hard feelings. I'm very much like, I'm free. Yeah. I'm free of this. You can breathe again. I can breathe again. So again, no, you don't have to take every single event. You don't have to take every single client. Everyone's not going to work out for you. And that's part of the journey. You figure out as your business is growing, who's the right client for you. I've had clients that I was like, I love this client. Yes. And by the end of the event planning, I was like, I would never take them again. Nope. I don't know. You know, like, you don't know everything you're going to get. Or you have the opposite, where I'm like, I'm not sure. And by the end, I'm like, no, they were amazing. Yeah. They were perfect. So, yeah.
So when it comes to clients, we know clients are interesting. You know, you have those ones where it's like, let's be friends. Then you have those ones where it's like, I never want to see you walking in the street, in the store, ever again. So we want to hear about one of your funniest moments or most memorable moments when it comes to event planning, working with different personalities, coming up with these elaborate ideas. We want to hear that memory that stuck with you.
Yeah, I have a couple. So one of them, they both came from weddings. And one was one of my very first weddings. It was only me and my best friend working, which already, y'all, red flag. I didn't know what I was doing because I only got 2 people working this event.
There's still some planners out there that only have 2 people.
I can't do it. I can't do it. That's not for me. But so me and her are working. The grounds are huge. And we go and get the bridal party lined up and all that good stuff. The bride is in the bridal suite. So we're like, okay, once we get them lined up, we'll come get you. We go back to the bridal suite. She's gone.
Where is this? Where?
It's because the people don't listen.
So the venue staff is like, oh, we took her to downstairs to like get ready to line up.
That's that shit.
But I didn't tell you to do that.
It's the venue.
But I also think it was the bride. She was very anxious. So I think she's like, what are we doing? I want to go. Whatever. She goes. Y'all, she gets down. Her dad is like walking. I think it was her mom. I can't remember who was walking her. Someone's walking her. I swear to God, y'all. She gets to the top of the aisle, and she's like, I'm like, girl, what do you want? Like, what do you want from me? I'm like, yes. She's like, I left my bouquet in the bridal suite.
Of course you did, because you walked out when you wasn't supposed to.
It had you waited for me, I would have did my mental check. And I'd have seen that she ain't had no dang bouquet.
She's right there.
She's there. Everyone's staring at her, waiting for her to walk down the aisle.
Oh my gosh.
I said, so here's Tamika trying to run. And mind you, this is a huge venue. She's trying to run back to the room. I'm like, that's not going to work. That's going to take too long. She would have
walked down the aisle with the bouquet.
I went to one of the bridesmaids, grabbed one of their bouquets, gave her the bouquet. I was like, go. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
at least you didn't have to pick no flowers or nothing and like pull it together. But that works. I mean,
because that's what we have.
But I was so like, why would you do that?
We've been there.
Y'all, my very next wedding, I was like, we got 5 staff members. Like I had a wedding 2 weeks later. We had a whole bunch of staff from that one. And then my next one is another wedding.
It's the weddings.
It's so much stress. And that's why I fell off of the weddings.
Yeah, I was about to talk about that because you stopped taking weddings for a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is why. Let me give you this last story, and I'll tell you this. You will understand why. He was just a diva.
The groom.
It is always the grooms. Yeah.
It was 2 grooms. One groom was very, very nice. The other groom, y'all, I put this on my life. They're standing up there doing their vows or whatever the ceremony started. Do you know this man turned out to the audience and said, Jacob, didn't we say don't be wearing no hats at the wedding?
Oh! No, he did not. He has to be. Is he from New York?
I said no hats. Anyway, continue. I was just like,
do as a planner?
Did you go tap the
Nothing.
guests?
Like, what was I supposed to
Tap the
do?
guests to tell them to take their hat off?
But it wasn't like they had to fit it on. They had on like a nice,
Fedora.
yeah, whatever.
You
And
see,
I'm
that's
like,
why he should have hired security so they could have told people to take their hats off. Because that's not our job.
but why would I have thought that hat would have been an issue? Like,
Like, and that probably matches
but
suit.
honestly, during the wedding, though, during vows is wild.
Yeah.
but he also just was so dramatic the entire planning process. We went to do like a mock-up of the florals. Y'all, when I tell you the florals were simple, okay? White, big white arrangements with some red roses in it. Simple. My man was like, I just need everyone to get out of the room so I can just really focus. Focus on what, sir? Like he kicked, like even the florist was like, what? Like everybody was like,
You want me to get out of my
like,
space?
okay, we'll leave. Like, what are you in here getting deep
Oh
about?
my
Like
gosh.
the whole entire, like I left that wedding like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that again. Like this is not realistic.
Do you think it was the client, though?
What do you mean?
Like, do you think it was just the drama, like, of that, just that
It
individual?
wasn't that particular event. It was just a gamut of things that
Okay,
happened.
okay.
You guys already know when I got married in 2013, my husband didn't even have an Instagram. He started, his first Instagram post was our wedding picture. So it just lets you know where we were in the world of social media. It wasn't a popular thing. Now, I was having brides hit me up like, I want you to do a wedding, but it has to go viral. Well, ma'am, I don't have the power. I don't own Beyonce's internet to make your event go viral. That's
Like,
not how it. That's not how it works.
I can barely figure out Instagram's
been there.
algorithm.
And you want me to make your event go viral?
Yeah.
There's no way for me to do that. And that's when I started to realize like there's this pressure around weddings that is unrealistic. And the reason I got into weddings was really came off of my own wedding, right? The reason my wedding was what it was a genuine day.
Yeah.
And most weddings that go viral outside of the ones that are just like over the top and dramatic are the ones that are just real.
Right.
Yeah.
You can feel the realness. You can feel the love. You can feel the family excitement. You can feel that.
Yes.
And people don't understand that. They've lost that essence. So to them, it's like, it's the pictures. No, it's not just the pictures.
Yeah.
There has to be something else there that makes people be like, wow,
This
They're a
that was
beautiful
dope.
couple.
They're
Yeah,
a beautiful
yeah.
couple. I could feel the love in this day. I could feel that. When y'all just throwing stuff together and y'all just want it to go viral so
Right.
bad,
It doesn't click.
it
like
doesn't
that.
click that way. And I was getting people just hit me up like, yeah, I want to go viral. Yeah, I'm not the planner for you. Like I would have consultations with couples and my first questions would be, are y'all doing couples counseling? Like
Do you have an
seriously.
officiant?
We should start
Do you have it-
asking
right.
that.
Yeah, I always say that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm one thing. I was like, do you guys have an officiant? Because, you know, that's the only way this works. Like, you got to get married. People
Right.
are like, oh, I'm trying to book flowers. I'm trying to book
Yeah.
my
But
photographer.
I think even an officiant is just an officiant. It can be anybody. I think, are you guys actively working on your relationship, on what your marriage is going to be made up of? Because this wedding is one day
It's like,
of that.
Is our work in vain? Are we doing this in vain?
And that's what I started to feel like weddings were
Yeah.
just in vain. And I didn't feel this connection between couples. I didn't feel this love between everyone wanting to be there and really experience it. And it turned me off so bad. I stopped taking weddings altogether. So I stopped taking weddings for probably like 3 years. And then I decided to jump back into it because I had thought I found a new business model and it didn't work. That's the moral to the story. I found a new business model. It didn't work. So will I take weddings? It just depends. It depends. Okay. I'm not closing myself in. The beauty of owning your own business is you get to do what you want to do. Yeah.
So as we get ready to close out and wrap up, we want you to give advice to the planners who are hoping to move towards that creative space of doing whatever they want to do, really tapping into their creative bag and just making events that are different from what we're seeing. What advice would you give to them?
Yeah, I think be patient. Be patient with yourself. That growth process takes time. The type of events that I do today, I couldn't do them 5 years ago, and I definitely couldn't have done them 10 years ago. It took time to build on each event that I've done. I never think that my events are perfect. Every event, I learn something new, and I decide to implement something new every single time. So not trying to rush your process. Don't rush your process. I get it. The internet makes you feel like you need to be at a certain level tomorrow. And the truth of the matter is, you need to have certain tools in your toolbox in order to accomplish certain things. The level of production that a wedding for 200 people takes, you're not going to be able to do that if all the events you've done have been small baby showers with 50 people. You need to keep building on those and perfecting those and making those better each time, so that when that opportunity comes to you for the 200 person wedding or for the big over the top, production style event, even it doesn't have to be 200 people. It can be small. It can be a corporate event. I've been doing a lot more corporate events, working with more brands. Once you get into that space, the level of organization that you have to have, the patience that you need, things change constantly. You need to have the right tools in your toolbox to deal with that. And I think if you're rushing your process, you're not going to learn what you need to learn to get to that place.
That's good.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm coming back. Y'all don't have to invite me. I'm coming. I'm bringing myself back.
Yeah, tell me people where to follow you.
Yeah. Tell us
So I am on Instagram, say.belle.events, and TikTok. That's where I have my fun. And yeah, you can find me there and on my website. And yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to have a good time on my page. So if you follow me, no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. We're going to have a good time. And I'm going to show you guys absolutely beautiful events. So thank you guys for having me. I appreciate you guys.
And subscribe.
Yeah.
Like, she has a subscriber only that is good. Like, she actually shows up and tells us the tea behind things.
And I look a mess. So if, again, there's a judgment-free zone. I come in there, I'm not looking my best, but my subscribers appreciate me and they love me for the realness. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys.
Of course. So be sure to follow her. Be sure to follow us. And as always, meet us right back here in the Planner Suite.